Welcome back to Comic Book History. I know this has been I've been sort of procrastinating on this one, but I'm doing it now. This one, like I mentioned in the last episode, I mentioned I was going to do this on Infinity Inc. The uh, the group of second generation of the Golden Age superheroes, who made the first appearance in All-Star Squad number 25. The group was created by Roy Thomas, legendary Superman artist Jerry Ordway, and Mike Michelin. Yeah, McCullen. I think that's the pronounced name. Yeah, they're basically the JSA's version of the Teen Titans. That's essentially who they are. Who are the members? Well, you have Sylvester Pendleton, who was originally known as the Star Spangled Kid, who later renamed himself to Skyman. No, seriously, that's his name. The second Brainwave, the son of the original Brainwave, who is a D-list supervillain. Silver Scarab, whose real name is Hector Hall. He is the son of the Golden Age Hawkman and Hawkgirl. You have Obsidian and Jade, the twin children of Alan Scott, Green Lantern, and old Flash villain Rose and Thorn. Who else? There is also Albert Rothstein, who basically he is Atom Smasher. Yeah, he's Atom Smasher. But here's the thing: Atom Smasher. He is the godson of the original Atom, Al Pritt, and unlike and he did show up on TV. Yeah, he was played by former WWE superstar Edge. Yeah, and actually he did a really good job playing the character. Despite the fact that he became a freaking villain for no reason. Yeah, originally he's known as Atom Smasher. Here, originally he was called Nucleon, but later he renamed himself Atom Smasher. Let's see. Later on they added Power Girl, Huntress, Mr. Bones, Beth Chapel became the second Dr. Midnight, Rick Tyler, the second Hour Man, and Yolanda Montañez, who is the goddaughter of the original Wildcat, Ted Grant. She later also became the second Wildcat. And this group basically, they tried to join the JSA, some of them anyways, though basically it was just, let's see, it was just Brainwave, Fury. Fury is, she is the daughter of the Earth 2 Wonder Woman and the Earth 2 Steve Trevor, who at the time that the series first started, he was retired general and living on Themyscira, which Earth 2 they call Paradise Island. Yeah. There's also this character called Northwind. He's sort of a disciple of... He's basically a half-human, half-hawk person. That's simply what he is. These people tried to join the JSA, but were turned down for some dumb reason. I have no idea why this was. Of why in the world they decided to turn them down. So, the Star Spangled Kid decided to take pity on these characters and form a simple group called Infinity Inc. And unlike the JSA, which were headquartered out of New York City, Infinity Inc. headquartered themselves out of LA, which made them, at that point, the first ever superhero team to be headquartered out of Los Angeles. Which by far, I think Roy Thomas got the idea of a superhero team headquartered out in LA, probably from the Avengers West Coast. That's probably where he got the idea from. I have no idea. And they spent the first 10 issues known as the Generation Saga. It's a really good set of 10 issues. They go on various adventures. Of course, later on they had Dr. Midnight, which, by the way, her name is spelled actually Midnight, not like the original. She's technically considered the second one, but she is, she's actually the only one who's actually, of the three Dr. Midnight, she's the only one who's a woman, and also the only one who's black. Yeah, I know for a fact on Legend of Tomorrow, the one on the character there, he's black. But he's the original, he's Charles McAnder, the original Dr. Midnight from the 40s. Excuse me. Yeah. Now, simply put, the original Infinity Inc. series lasted for 53 issues. Now, during the course of the series, a group called Helix. Yeah. The second Wildcat, her cousin was actually a member of the group. The group was actually once led by a character called Mr. Bones. a guy who was literally a walking skeleton wearing a costume. Yeah, and toward about halfway through the series, I would say around issue 30 or 40-ish, for some reason, now prior to this, when when the group first started, when this was like right issue 11, after the original 10 part ended, somehow the group made a contract with the city of Los Angeles, well, LA anyways, and they managed to maintain the contract for about 2 years, and then for some reason the city ended the contract, and they had to do something with Mr. Bones, so they handed out the Finick for some reason, and he became sort of an unofficial member of the group. Yeah, he became sort of a member. He interacted with them a little bit, not very much, and he was part of the group up until toward the end, where in issue 51, he is indirectly responsible for the death of the source of Skyman. Solomon Grundy got him to kill him with his special death hand touch. Yeah, it's something Mr. Bones, it's something that he was known for, but when he became, I'll get to that in a minute, basically what happened to him. Basically, after the Skyman, the group disbanded. Also, I should mention, though, the group did have a crossover with the Outsiders as part of their specials. There's Infinite Ink special and an Outsider special. They cross with each other. This was, of course, just prior to Crisis on Earth's book group that tied into that. And the series had 3 annuals. The first annual revealed that it was true at that point. They finally revealed that Obsidian and Jade were, in fact, the children of Alan Scott, and the fact Rose and Thor was their mother. It was also revealed in that particular annual that the character Harley Quinn was a woman named Molly Medane, and she had been in love with Alan Scott since the 40s. Of course, this takes place in the 80s, so basically she is possibly in her 60s. Yeah, this is just my personal guess. Now, here's the thing that's quite interesting about it. When she revealed that she was the Harley Quinn, not Harley Quinn, it's 2 different characters. It's Harley Quinn, but it's one word. It's the 2 words combined together. That's why it's called Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a complete separate character. Excuse me. And it was revealed that she was in fact in love with him, and he finally admitted that, yeah, he loved her too, since they knew each other for 40 years and they got married. And in the course, there was the very same time they had Crisis of Nerves happen. Now, it was also revealed the reason why Rose and Thor basically did not raise Obsidian and Jade. The reason is because she has a split personality. Now, Rose is the good person. Thorn is the evil one. Rose is the one who married Alan Scott. It was revealed that on her honeymoon, she actually abandoned him on their honeymoon when she found out she was pregnant. So she put the 2 in foster care. No, seriously, that's what she did. And of course, also in the end, they had the first official wedding. First of 2 weddings over the course of the original Infinity Inc. series. They also had it where the Silver Scarab, toward the end of the series, married Fury, which they did have it where she was the daughter of the Earth 2 Wonder Woman, and then after Crisis on Infinite Earths, they got rid of Huntress. And the Earth 2 Wonder Woman. They retconned her to be the daughter of a Golden Age superhero named Fury, who's also named Fury as well. Yeah, they changed. I have no idea why. And they also changed her for Power Girl, where she was the daughter of an Atlantean sorcerer and not from Earth 2 Krypton. Yeah, it's really bizarre. It's like they were trying to stray away from the whole thing of basically of her being related to Superman, even though she really isn't. Not this version, anyways. But yeah, when the group disbanded after the death of Skyman, the group just went their separate ways. Of course, prior to the group's disbandment, for some strange reason, I have no idea why Roy Thomas thought this was a good idea, the Silver Scarab became the new Sandman, taking over for Gareth Sanders. They actually referenced him because they actually looked him up in the JLA files. They actually went up to the satellite, because at this point, Earth 2 and Earth 1 were basically one Earth. They went up to the satellite and actually looked him up, and yeah, Gareth Sanders. First time he actually mentioned since I believe the first annual for Just Like America, where he was named an honorary member of the team. So, yeah. It's never revealed exactly why he took it up. He just was chosen for some strange reason. Excuse me. So, yeah, and for some strange reason, I have no idea why, apparently he can only remain in the dream world for 23 hours. And in the real world, he only spent 1 hour. As for his wife, she only can stay in the dream world for a very brief period of time. Of course, these two later had a kid, Daniel Hall, who took over for Neil Gaiman's Sandman, who took over for Morpheus at the end of Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. Yeah. The original series was really good. What happened to the characters afterwards? Well, Nuke Lion became Atom Smasher and later became part of the JSA, and he was part of the group up until Flashpoint. Dr. Midnight and Wildcat were killed off in the pages of Eclipso. No idea why they thought this was a good idea, but yeah, they are part of this covert government group, which, by the way, the events of the book was actually referenced in Suicide Squad. I'm not kidding, it was, because Waller was actually involved with that project. Yeah, they got killed by Eclipso. I have no idea why. Let's see. Obsidian basically did briefly join the Justice League, but he went back and forth, but mainly he stuck with the JSA over the years. Yeah. Jade became an actual Green Lantern, and dated Kyle Rayner for a period of about several years. They dated up until her death in the Ren Thanagarian War Infinite Crisis special, and she was officially dead at that point for 2 years until she came back in Blackest Night. Though during the period of time when she was dead, Kyle dated the daughter of Sinestro, and dated her up until Flashpoint. Yep. Okay. Power Girl, she popped up wherever, had her own ongoing series for 2 years prior to Flashpoint. Really damn good comic book. The original creative team was Joey Palmer and Amanda Conner, with Joey Palmer on the writing, Amanda Conner on the artwork. It's a great comic book to read. I highly recommend it. I also recommend the original volume Paul Kupperberg did in 1984. Really great series, and everybody knows about the boob hole joke, yeah. And also the fact that this is also really weird. Out of all of the women who part of Infinity Inc., Power Girl had the biggest chest out of all of them. Yeah, it's a recurring joke when it comes to Power Girl. Aside from the boob window, the back of her chest is so freaking huge. Excuse me. But what about the other characters? Well, Huntress died in Crisis on Infinite Earths and remained dead up until 2006 when she came back into the Crisis. Hourman, well, Rick Tyler was Hourman up until Flashpoint. Though for some reason, I'm not sure why, on what website I went to, it confirmed that Rex Tyler showed up in Earth 2 Society, even though it looked nothing like him, and the costume is completely different. Basically, what Jeff Johns did with him is he made him quite interesting character. First, he decided to replace his father when his father died during Zero Hour, and then, of course, his successor, Matt Tyler, who was an android from the future, took his spot for Zero Hour, of course, when they brought Rex Tyler back. He later fell in love and married Jesse Quick. And just prior to Flashpoint, Jesse Quick got pregnant. As for what happened to the baby, no one knows because Flashpoint happened. Though, she might return, because we saw the return of Jay Garrick recently in the page in Flash 22, which I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, is there anybody else? Hector Hall. Hector Hall, after he stopped being the Sandman, he became in the late when the JSA book started in 1999, he became a new Dr. Fate, and was Dr. Fate until issue 80, where he apparently somehow died. Never explained how. Him and Fury. Yeah, it's never explained how they died, but they did. Also at that point, Hector Hall, basically his hair turned white, and he grew a goatee. Much older guy, despite the fact his father looks like a guy in his late 20s. Yeah, the reason why his father was like that, because his father took over the body of the Kador Hawkman, the alien Hawkman. Yeah. But let's see. Brainwave got killed off during the event Black Rain when he rejoined sort of a brief reunion. A group of people basically formed by Black Adam to invade the country of Karak, his home country of Karak, and basically overthrew the dictatorship, where he got killed by being pushed off a building. Yeah, that's seriously what happened to him. But last but not least, let's talk about Mr. Bones. Oh boy, this guy. What happened to him after Infinity Inc.? Well, he disappeared for about 10 years, showed up in an issue of Batman and revealed that somehow he became the director of the DEO, which, by the way, he remained the director of DEO up until about 2013. Yeah, even after Flashpoint happened, he's still stuck as director of DEO. I mean, he showed up in the series Chase, which started Agent Cameron Chase. He showed up in there. Manhunter, he showed up in Batwoman, Titan. He showed up everywhere because he was director of the DEO. Though at this point he was not wearing his cheesy costume he was wearing back in the 80s. He was wearing a suit, having a cigar. Also, when he showed the pages of Manhunter, he apparently can put on skin. Yeah, I have no idea why that Mark Andreyko thought this was a good idea. And also, when he puts on skin, he becomes a black guy. For no reason. And also, he remained good friends with Atom Smasher for years, even after the span of Infinity Inc. The sort of basically 21st century version of Infinity Inc. There's two different things to this. First was a group that I do not consider to be just a loose connection to the original group. Yeah, this was the second Infinity Inc. was formed in the pages of 52, and these were comprised of the Airman, another Fury, who had nothing to do with the original one, Nucleon, different character, Skyman, totally different character, Starlight, Trajectory, Matrix, Jade, completely different character, John Henry Irons, Mercy, and Empathy. And that's it. Some of these characters got killed off even toward the end of the second volume of Infinity Inc. Which, by the way, this lasted for 12 issues. And talking about Peter Milligan, who is a good writer. I have nothing against him. But when I read it, it's like the book itself felt more like it felt like a Steel. It's like the book should have been called Infinity Inc. featuring Steel, because he was practically the only character who got character development, because the rest of these characters were just bland and boring. I'm not sure what the heck Peter Milligan was doing with this book. I mean, the book itself, him doing a group of characters, fine. Of course, he later on he was the first writer for Justice League Dark, which those issues were really amazing. And they were collecting the first volume of Justice League Dark. But this group, the series itself was okay, but the one group I kind of considered to be the 21st century version of Infinity Inc. is the JSA All-Stars. Yeah, it's a group of people that was basically, it was a split group from the JSA. The group was led by Power Girl, of all people. And the group consisted of, let's see if I can get to it. Let's see here. Let's see. The JSA All-Stars consisted of Mogog, Damage, who was the son of Al Pritt, the original Atom, Power Girl, the second Iron Man, Atom Smasher, Sand, Stargirl, Cyclone, Wildcat, who was the third Wildcat, Ted Bronson, the illegitimate son of Wildcat. Citizen Steel. This is Nate Haywood, the character who also appears in Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah. Judo Master, this is the third or fourth. This is a woman. She also returned for Earth 2 book. King Chimera, Anna Fortain, Roxy. Yeah, with later on basically Damage Mogon being killed. This group was done by the writer of the book was let's see if I can find it here. I'm trying to find who I think it was Matthew Sturgis. Yeah, Matthew Sturges was the writer for this entire 18-issue comic book. The book itself also had a brief backup feature, which had, I think it was like for the first year of the book, it was Second Iron Man, Liberty, the second Liberty Bell, who was originally Jesse Quick, along with Artemis and the second Icicle. Yeah, where they briefly had to work together just to work. It was a pretty fun backup feature. I gotta praise Matthew Sturges for doing that. But this group basically I kind of consider to be the 21st century version of Infinity Inc. Mainly because the fact that if you were part of the original group, and also the book kind of functions like. As a matter of fact, they actually visit the original headquarters of Infinity Inc. Now, what happened to the series itself? Was it ever collected and trade? Yes, it was. 2 volumes. Yep. 1 second. Just my nose. Anyways, yeah, just 2 volumes, just Infinity Inc. Generations Volumes 1 and 2, and that's it. There's nothing else for the series collect and trade, and I do mean nothing. Despite the fact this is a great comic book, and yet when it comes to Roy Thomas lately, apparently, in the case of Marvel, where they collect pretty much mostly everything he's written, in the case of DC, what have they collected? As of right now, they collected the Last Age JSA Special, America vs. Justice Society, his issues he wrote for Secret Origin, which I saw the trade for at Barnes & Noble last night. What else? They collected Shazam and New Beginning. Yeah, they collected that series. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else they collected? Oh yeah, they collected the first 18 issues of All-Star Squadron. I think that's it. Not much stuff for Roy Thomas. It's for the guy is a damn good writer, and yet DC doesn't bother to put his work into trade for some strange reason. I have no idea why. I'm sure he's felt upset now at the fact that 3 of his characters have been killed off. Now, some of his characters have featured on TV. In the case of Brainwave, he has never featured on TV, though the character did show up in the pages of Constantine when they had the Flashpoint stuff, and also apparently Obsidian showed up there as well, which I'm like, okay, so Obsidian's in the book, and yet there's no mention he was related to Alan Scott at all. By the way, Alan Scott in Earth 2 was gay. Yeah, but what about the rest of the characters? Well, Star Spangled Kid never made an appearance that I can think of. Wildcat is a much older guy. I'm glad the fact he does show up, and he did show up in Earth 2, World's End, where he's still a boxer. No mention if he was a champ or not. And he also it took him a while. It took a sweet time just to appear in the Earth 2 Society book, basically work alongside Green Arrow and Batman. Yolanda Mendez, who was the second Wildcat. She did show up in Earth 2, the Earth 2 book and Earth 2 World's End. Basically, she was the avatar of the Red. As what happened to her after Earth 2 World's End, never mentioned. Not at all. Yeah, it's never mentioned exactly what the heck happened to her. At all. Power Grown Huntress basically took over a book called World's Finest. No, it had nothing to do with the original book. Yeah, that happened. These are from the second, this from the third Earth 2. Yeah, third Earth 2. Excuse me. Let's see, what else? Stargirl, who was part of the group JSA All Stars, she later became part of Justice League America book done by Jeff Johns and Matt Knott, and later joined Justice League United by Jeff Lemire, and of course later on the book was done by Jeb Parker. And she's still drawn pretty much the same. She hasn't really changed that much. She did make an appearance on TV. But what about the rest of Infinity Inc.? Let's see. Jade, as far as I know, has never appeared on TV. Neither has the Silver Scarab. The only ones who actually have of the original Infinity Inc. have been Atom Smasher. He has appeared on TV. And that's it. Just those two. They're the only ones who actually have. yeah, Adam Smasher made his first appearance on TV in the first episode of The Flash season 2, which I think that in the case of the character himself, Edge did a fantastic job playing the character. I kind of wish they wouldn't have killed him off. Yeah, because he was being blackmailed to fight the Flash. They could somehow revive him. I wouldn't be surprised. How the heck they'd revive Girder because of trying to do the power, just because they try to get the particle accelerator to explode again. That's how they revive Girder. Maybe do the same thing with Atom Smasher, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. But as for the rest of the characters who were known for associated with Infinite Inc., none of them have, with the exception of Atom Smasher, none of them feature on TV. I kind of wish they would. Oh wait, Obsidian has. I kind of forgot. He has been featured on TV. He appeared for about 3 episodes of this past season of Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know who played in the first 2 episodes, but he did show up later on when the group went to the 1980s, and he's played by the guy from Aliens, Lawrence Henderson. Yeah, the guy also appeared in AVP Requiem, and he also appeared in Alien 3. But it was awesome to see the guy, and since it's the 80s, why not? And it was an awesome episode. I gotta praise the cast of Legends of Tomorrow for doing a great job for the 80s. Though it kind of stink. Oh yeah, and they kept the fact that his father is Alan Scott, which for some reason he's not allowed to appear in the show for some strange reason. I have no idea why. Yeah. If I meet Roy Thomas, I'm gonna ask him about the characters he created, and basically about how the CW deals with his characters, on basically how they deal with them. Now, when I saw Obsidian in the World War II era, he was actually one of 2 characters that, looking at the group, made absolutely no sense to appear in the 40s. The other course was Stargirl. I'm like, the character showed up in the late 90s. Why is she part of the World War II incarnation of the JSA? I have no idea. Maybe they can have it where a loose relative of hers maybe could show up in the present day. I don't know. It's a possibility. But, yeah. But DC needs to put Infinite Inc. into trade. It's a great series. I've read all 53 issues and all 3 annuals, including the specialty series first volume had. The second volume, as far as I can tell, has, I think, the first 5 issues are in trade. But that's it. I kind of get the reason why the series was canceled after 12 issues. Because I don't think that the book basically got people interested. Aside from John Henry Irons being an interesting character himself, there probably wasn't anything else interesting about the book. That's probably the reason why it was canceled 12 issues. That's probably when hardly anybody bought it, because there was hardly anything else interesting about the book aside from Steel, which, for some people, Steel doesn't have much popularity nowadays. Either because of the Shaq version of him or something else. I have no idea. But yeah. As far as I can tell, none of the characters appeared on Earth 2. Yeah, none of them did for some reason. Mr. Bones, however, in the current continuity, he showed up in Blue Beetle, Batwoman, and that's it. That's the only 2 books he showed up in. In the previous continuity, after Infinite, basically it was just 1 issue of Batman, Chase, where he was a supporting character group because Cameron Chase is an agent of the DEO. It showed Manhunter, Titan, showed a bunch of places. But yeah, he's probably the most frequent appear. He probably was the most active. Aside from Atom Smash, he's probably like one of the very few who was actually active over the years. But yeah, basically the members of Infinity Inc. did join the JSA. Oh, there is one other thing I need to talk about. The Convergence miniseries. I think Jerry Edwards did the miniseries. Yeah, I read the Convergence Infinity Inc. miniseries. It is really good. It basically in issue 2, because the JSA wanted to retire, and basically they made Infinity Inc. the new JSA. Great. Yeah. It was a great comic book, and I highly recommend it. I don't know what trade is collecting those 2 issues, but it's probably collecting the same trade as Convergence Justice Society America. Okay? That's really all I gotta say about Infinite Inc. Just that it's a great group of characters. It's a great series. I highly recommend tracking down all the issues. I mean, it's only, well, the original volume is 53 issues, second volume is 12. But I also recommend tracking down JSA All Stars, which, in my honest opinion, feels more like Infinite Inc. in the 21st century than Infinite Inc. Volume 2 because, well, it has social JSA. The second group basically is unrelated in name only. Yeah, with a few of the characters being loosely connected to the original group. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Next episode, now I originally was going to do this as a rant video. I'm kind of going to mix it in with comic book history because I'm going to do the next episode on Venom. And my thoughts on every single person in Venom over the years, which currently there has been about 4 or 5 people who have been Venom over the years. And we'll give my opinion about that next episode. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.